welcome to the Actors Side. Today we have Adam Driver. Very happy to have you here, Adam.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, and so much going on in your career right now on extreme ends. You have Patterson, which is this terrific Jim Jarmusch movie. Then, of course, you're in the whole Star Wars franchise all of a sudden now, and so many other things. I mean, this is an interesting swing for an actor to go from one kind of thing to another, one big, giant kind of movie franchise to one that's very small and super intelligent. Great little movie, Patterson. Let's talk about that first. How did that come about for you with Jim Jarmusch?
He just reached out and said, "If you do you want to meet and talk about it?" I'm like, "Of course. Anything you're working on, I would do." So we just met at a restaurant and talked for a couple hours. Before I even walked in to meet him, had already committed in my mind, whatever it was, the size of the part didn't matter. I wanted to do it. And then he said, "Well, let me just send you the script so you know what you're getting into."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Sure, I'll read it as a formality. Sure." And then he sent it to me the next day. I think he just mailed it to my house, and I read it. And as soon as I got it, I went downstairs, and got it, and went back up and read the whole thing and finished it. And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I want to do it."
Wow, it was that simple.
Yeah.
Because it's not a script you're going to get every day of the week. It's a very different kind of movie. It's almost about nothing, yet it's about everything in its way. But it has to be acted and directed in such a way that it works, or the Souffle Falls, I think, in a movie like that.
Yeah, even now through this whole process now of talking about it, as I've been thinking over the movie, there's a lot of things operating that I wasn't even aware of, because you're not thinking about what it means or anything, but when you're playing the scenes, all you're thinking of is, what's going on in the scene. But how he structured it is really, I think, rare and beautiful. And as you're saying, the way to, I think it's rare you get an opportunity as an actor. I mean, I love being in scenes where I don't have anything to say, where I get to listen to people, which I always like in movies that I get to see. I always find myself watching people who aren't talking a lot. But his main action is to listen to everybody around him and take in these small details. And it's kind of structured like a poem, and it's a week of this couple's life. And it's different by degrees, every day, which I really liked. I always, in life in general, always enjoy repetition with everything. I like to go to the same restaurants, listen to the same songs over and over again, watch the same movies for over and over and over again, and I always kind of get something new out of it, and I like that idea a lot.
So you're like Patterson. You want to do the exact same thing? You watch the same movies over and over?
I do, yeah. Like a Midnight Cowboy, I saw the first time when I was like 14 years old. Did not understand why that movie was so good. Then you kind of get older and come back to that movie, and you're like, "Oh, I understand now." You're older and you connect with the movie at a different time in your life, and I think that a lot. But like, I probably watch Jaws once a year, or Ordinary People once a year. I keep the same movies and just watch them over and over again.
Are you an actor that prepares research-wise for every role you do? Or in this case, I'm wondering what you did to prepare to play, what is a very simple story, but you drive a bus and you write poetry. So can you drive a bus?
Yeah, I guess I can. I got my CDL license to learn how to drive a bus, because his physical life, because we're talking about routine and pattern, is very much a well-worn groove. He does he walks the same way to work every day. His bus route is the same, every day. Even his uniform, compared to the clothes that he wears in regular life, is almost pretty much the same thing. So his physical life seemed to be an important thing to not be thinking about when we were shooting it, because of trying to tell a story of in 2 months or however long we had to shoot it, of a couple years of doing the same routine. And I knew that on the day I didn't want to be thinking about what lever opens the door, or what mirror I'm supposed to be finding the people behind me, or the order in which I'm supposed to put on my seatbelt, the air pressure in the tire. It seemed like you want to be available for everybody that's around you. So I learned to drive a bus, so that just wouldn't be an issue. And then plus it could hopefully open us up to different shots that we could get, should they have to, if I didn't know how to drive a bus, and they'd have to use a stunt driver or something like that. Didn't want to do that.
It's so interesting to me. You actually got a license for driving a bus for a role, essentially, that you're playing.
Yeah.
I heard Aaron Eckhart, who is a co-pilot in Sully with Tom Hanks,
Oh, yeah.
got a pilot's license.
Oh, great.
making that movie.
Yeah, right.
You know. Now that's taking method acting a step further, I think, here.
I mean, maybe it's, I don't know. I don't consider it that. It's just a lot of information, you know. You just learn, maybe it'll help open your ideas to something else, you know. Plus, it's a great excuse to learn how to drive a bus.
Right.
In case you get in a jam and acting falls through, you always have another.
You can, yeah, well, you certainly can have that to fall back on.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a good thing. Okay, so this is a list of some of the directors you've worked with so far. Steven Spielberg, Martin Scorsese, Clint Eastwood, the Coen brothers, J.J. Abrams, Noah Baumbach, Jeff Nichols, Steven Soderbergh, now Jim Jarmusch. Yeah, right. I mean, some people would take an entire career to get to work on this level.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, geez, I haven't. It's pretty. I'm very, very lucky.
There's got to be a rhyme or a reason of how you wind up in these kinds of projects. Do you turn down a lot to wait for something that you know is going to be?
Yeah. Like it's a director's medium, and I'm fascinated by directors because I just don't see the world that they do, and inspired by a lot of those people's films. So you have like a list in your head of people that you want to work with, and then I mean, but I could want that all I want. But if you don't get that opportunity, then you don't get that opportunity. And so I've been very lucky where, you know, I've been available to do those things when those people are making movies, and timing and luck, you know, helped a lot.
What do you learn when you work on this level with these kinds of, you know, all of them just like iconic?
Well, I guess when you, maybe the through line is, and what I learned very early in working with some of those people very early is that how collaborative they are, then once you get a sense of it, you don't really want to go back to another way of, or you be very careful of the people that you work with, that the kind of best idea wins mentality is kind of where they're operating from. Like Scorsese, as an example, you know, has been wanting to make Silence for 28 years. So it could very much be, and I would have expected it to, and been fine with it, a dictatorship where you show up on set and he's like, no, I've been thinking about this for 28 years. This is the movie I have in my head. I want just go do it. And I would have been fine doing that probably. But he actually wants you to take ownership of your part and surprise him, and he knows his subject, kind of what I was saying earlier, that I learned from him of knowing it very well, but then willing to let go of all of your ideas when you get there on set, and suddenly we're shooting in Taiwan, and the trees are doing something wrong. You know, he's able to adapt and let go of all of his ideas. That being said, there are definitely shots in Silence. There's a shot that he thought about for Silence. I heard while he was making Mean Streets, or before he was making. So he has images that he wants to show, but how you kind of get to that is open for discussion. And to see someone at that point of their career who's accomplished so much still be so willing to not, you know the right answer, or that, you know, that is an inspiring thing to steal.
You play a Jesuit priest in Silence, and what was that like for you to make that movie with Scorsese?
Well, it was hard. It was hard, but it was great because, you know, working with him and working with Andrew, and you know, we had to lose a lot of weight for it, and that kind of peppered everything. But then again, you know, we're making a movie about persecuted 17th century Jesuit priests. It's hard to kind of show up in a trailer that's all warm and be fat and you know, go binge drinking every night.
So you had to lose weight. You don't look like you would lose a lot of weight, I have to say.
Yeah.
I mean, so how much weight did you have to lose?
Well, there wasn't like a set number, you know, like there's like a point in the story where we start off the thin and then we lose more weight throughout the course of it. So at the end of the movie, I lost 51 pounds, was where I got down to. I started at that time at 206 and got to 157.
Wow, what's your secret? I'd like to follow it.
Just anger and rage, you know, the government and running.
Oh, there you go. Those four things.
Yeah, not eating food, right, yeah.
All right, Adam Driver, thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.